Good morning students. Welcome to the last section of the cell, that is the study of cell organelles and the difference between plant and animal cell. In the last videos we have seen the discovery of cell. We have also studied about the difference in the cell according to the varying shape, size and number. Now we are going to study a generalized structure of a cell. After completing all the cell organelles, we will see what is the difference between plant and animal cell. So let's start with general structure of the cell. As discussed earlier, we have seen the cell is an enclosed structure bound by cell membrane. The outermost structure of the cell is your cell membrane. In animal cell membrane is the outermost membrane, whereas in plant cell we have an additional cell wall present outside the cell membrane. Cell membrane is also known as plasma membrane. Cell membrane is also known as plasma membrane. They are made up of phospholipids and proteins. It protects the cell content, whatever content is present inside the cell is protected by the cell membrane. It gives a shape to the cell and also are selectively permeable. It allows only certain things to enter inside the cell. Otherwise the cell may increase in size due to continuous inflow of water and other material. It may increase in size and burst it. So in order to prevent that, only the required amount of water and the other materials, other substances enter the cell. So cell membranes are selectively permeable. Another function is it protects the internal content from pathogens and other mechanical injuries. Inside the cell you have the fluid present called cytoplasm. So this is your cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is a semi-fluid. It is a little bit fluid in nature. It is a living structure. Even the cell membrane is your living structure. Right now we are talking all about the living structures of the cell. Cell is a living structure. We have already seen it is capable of existing independently and sustaining life by carrying out various physiological activities. So cytoplasm is also a living structure. It is semi-solid in nature and is in continuous motion. It helps in the intracellular movement of materials and the cell organelles. And the third important structure present inside the cell is the nucleus. This is the largest cell organelle present in the cell. The nucleus. Now nucleus is responsible for storing genetic material. It is also responsible for protein synthesis and it actually acts as the brain of the cell. So it controls all activities of other cell organelles within the cell. So nucleus is also known as brain of the cell. Now let us study the structure of nucleus in detail. You will see nucleus is a double membrane structure. You can see nucleus is a double membrane structure having openings, minute pores at intervals. So this is your nuclear membrane. And nuclear pore. Nuclear membrane and nuclear pore, and this is filled with a fluid called nucleoplasm. It is filled with a fluid called Nucleoplasm. Nucleoplasm is thicker than the cytoplasm. It is somewhat jelly-like structure, thicker than cytoplasm. Inside this nucleus, you have one oval body called the nucleolus. So this is your nucleolus. It is a round spherical body where proteins are synthesized. Along with that, you will see when observed under a microscope, you will see thread-like structure dispersed throughout the nucleus. This is your chromatin material. It is in this chromatin material or thread-like structure all the genetic informations are stored and then passed on to the next generation. So this is the entire structure of nucleus in general, having double membrane filled with nucleoplast, having nuclear pores at regular intervals, a round spherical body nucleolus and the chromatin material. Its function is to control the activities of the other cell organelles present inside the cell, also called as the brain of the cell. Next, you will see this is your endoplasmic reticulum. You will see numerous of endoplasmic reticulum inside the cell. It forms the skeleton of the cell. It forms the skeleton of the cell and helps in intracellular transport of materials, that is transport of materials within the cell. These are your double membranous irregular network of fluid filled lumens. These are empty sets and you will see the fluid present in them help in the transport. As I said, it helps in the intracellular transport of materials within the cell and even to outside of the cell. It connects nucleus to the plasma membrane. It is a continuous network connecting nuclear membrane to the plasma membrane. Being an irregular network, it also acts as a skeleton of the cell, giving the cell a firm shape. Next is you will see there are two types of endoplasmic reticulum. This is your endoplasmic reticulum. They are of two types, that is smooth endoplasmic reticulum and rough endoplasmic reticulum. Based on the presence and absence of ribosomes on them, they are smooth endoplasmic reticulum and rough endoplasmic reticulum. So if ribosomes are present on them, they are attached in this manner. If they are present, this is your rough endoplasmic. If ribosomes are absent, they are smooth endoplasmic. So this is your smooth endoplasmic reticulum and this is your rough endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum is also responsible for production of certain cell organelles like lysosomes and ribosomes present on rough endoplasmic reticulum helps in protein synthesis. So rough endoplasmic reticulum transpose the proteins, whereas smooth endoplasmic reticulum transpose lipids and steroids. They are not concerned with protein. Coming to ribosomes, next is your ribosome. This is your ribosomes. Ribosomes are small granular-like structure made up of two subunits. One is your larger subunit and other is your smaller subunit. This is your ribosome. The larger subunit and smaller subunit, they are responsible for protein synthesis of proteins. Hence they are also called as protein factories of the cell. Next is your mitochondria. Mitochondria are present and they are the powerhouse of the cell because they are responsible for cellular respiration. So before we go for cellular respiration, let's study the structure of mitochondria. Coming to mitochondria, mitochondria is a rod-like structure made up of double membrane called outer membrane and inner membrane. So this is your outer membrane and this is your inner membrane. The outer membrane is smooth, whereas inner membrane is projected into numerous folds called cristae. So this is your inner membrane and the folds that you see, these folds are your cristae. The folds are your cristae. They are filled with fluid called matrix. All the cell organelles that are filled with fluids have their own name depending on the consistency of the fluid. So fluid present in mitochondria is called as matrix. Fluid present inside the cell is your cytoplasm. Fluid present inside the nucleus is your nucleoplast. Mitochondria have their own DNA because they have to perform a very vital function. So they have their own DNA to replicate itself. And they are responsible for cellular respiration. What is cellular respiration? It is the breakdown of glucose in the presence of oxygen to give you carbon dioxide and water plus ATP. That is your energy. That is your energy, ATP. Since mitochondria produces energy for carrying out all the activities, it is known as powerhouse of the cell, and the energy generated is in the form of ATP, that is your adenosine triphosphate. So mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell, endoplasmic reticulum, the transport system of the cell, then rough endoplasmic reticulum for the transport of protein synthesized by ribosomes. And nucleus is the brain of the cell. Now coming to the next cell organelle. You will see stacks of vesicles, flattened vesicles present in the cytoplasm. These are your Golgi bodies. These are your Golgi bodies. They are flattened membrane-bound sac-like structure responsible for secretion of enzymes and hormones. They secrete enzymes and hormones. And the vesicles that are produced, these are the vesicles that are produced, helps in transporting the enzymes and hormones to different parts of the cell. So this is your generalized structure of a cell. All the general structure, all the cell organelles that is present in the cell. Apart from this, there are certain cell organelles which are present only in plant cell or only in animal cell. So now we are going to study all those structures. If I take this cell, this is, since it has only one membrane, so this is your animal cell. This is your animal cell. In an animal cell, only one more structure called centrosome is present, containing two centrioles near the nucleus. So this is your centrosome. Centrosome is a clear area in the cytoplasm with two centrioles inside them. Now what is this? Centrioles are made up of microfilaments. If you look at the structure, it will appear something like this. So these are centrioles. These are made up of microfilaments. You can see small filaments are there combined together to form two centrioles, and they are present at the right angle to each other. So you will see, if you look under the microscope, you will see the centriole as something like this. They are present at right angle to each other. Now, function of centrosome. What is the function of centrosome? It helps in the spindle formation during cell division. When the cell divides, during that time, to hold the chromosomes, these centrioles will move to the opposite poles and help in the formation of spindle. So this centrosome is present only in animal cell. Now when I come to plant cells are larger than animal cell. As compared to animal cell, plant cells are larger. This is your general structure of plant cell. So as compared to animal cell, plant cells are larger. They do have all the cell organelles discussed so far in them. So it will have a nucleus with nucleolus and a chromatin material. This is your nucleus. It will have one additional protective covering called cell wall. And the inner one is your cell membrane or plasma membrane. Cell membrane or plasma membrane. And it has a big vacuole. This is your vacuole. This is your vacuole. The fluid present inside the vacuole is your cell. Just now we saw about the matrix and the cytoplasm and the nucleoplasm. The fluid present inside the vacuole is the cell. The wall of the vacuole is called as tomoplast. Just like the cell membrane is known as cell membrane, we have same way vacuoles also have a membrane called tomoplast. The function of vacuole is to store starch, granules, oils, resin, tannins, all the waste that is there or all the food produced in the plant is stored in the vacuoles of the cell. Vacuoles are large. It can be one, it can be many. Apart from that, we have mitochondria for carrying out respiration. But since plants do not carry out so much physical activity, mitochondria are less. Instead, the chloroplast. This is another cell organelle which is present only in plant cell. It is present only in plant cell. So these are known as plastids. This is your chloroplast. Now chloroplast is also a double membranous structure. It also has double membrane. Having stacks of disc-like flattened structures. And they all are connected to each other by a lamellar disc, interlamellar disc. So this is the structure of your chloroplast, having an outer membrane, inner membrane, the fluid present in the chloroplast is your stroma. Stroma, be careful with the spelling, it is stroma because you may get confused with stoma, the stomata. So please be careful with the spelling. This is the most common spelling error, stoma and stroma. So students are often confused stoma with stoma. So be careful, it is stroma, S-T-R-O-M-A, stroma. Then the stack is known as grana and individual disc is known as thylakoid. So this is your structure of chloroplast, having outer membrane, inner membrane, fluid present in them is stroma. The stacks present are known as grana. The entire stack is known as grana and each disc is known as thylakoid. So you will have a stack of thylakoids forming the grana. Now it is this chloroplast where the solar energy is trapped and the food is prepared. So your chloroplast is the food factory of the plant. Many books shows kitchen. Kitchen is a place where we cook. So plants do not cook food. They manufacture food. And where the things are manufactured, they are known as factories. So chloroplast is a food factory of the cell, where the starch is produced, the glucose is produced, stored in starch, and then later on utilized again as glucose. This is the reserve food material for itself as well as for all the animal kingdom or the entire living system. So this is all about your plant cell and animal cell. Now let's see the difference, what is unique to plant cell and what is unique to animal cell. So we will have a difference of plant and animal cell. Sorry, we forgot to discuss one more important cell organelle present in animal cell is the lysosomes. Lysosomes. Lysosomes are small vesicles, spherical vesicles consisting of number of enzymes responsible for intracellular digestion. Suppose any microbes enter the cell, so this lysosomes kill those cells, kill those microbes and protect the body from infection. Also, all the dead organelles, since all the organelles that we have studied so far is your living organelle, so they will die one day. So once these organelles die out, those dead bodies are also broken down and eaten up by lysosome or digested by, not eaten up, it is digested by the enzymes present in the lysosome. Now these enzymes are so strong. The enzymes present in them are so strong that if they leaked out, if these lysosomes happen to burst due to any reason and the enzymes leak out, it is capable of digesting its own cell. It will eat up its own cell. So, lysosomes are also called as suicidal bags. Lysosomes are also called suicidal bags. It is also called digestive bags because it digests all the dead organelles and microbes present in the cell. Now coming to the difference between plant cell and animal cell. So we are going to talk about differences. First, cell wall is present. In plant cell wall is an additional membrane around the cell membrane, providing extra protection against the mechanical injury and the pathogenic attack from the pathogens also. So, cell wall is present in plant cell. In animal cell wall is absent. Next, plastids are present. Now, just now we spoke about plastids. We have studied only chloroplast. There are 3 types of plastids. We have studied about chloroplast in detail. So, apart from chloroplast, there are 2 more plastids called leucoplast and chromoplast. Leucoplast are those plastids which store food. Like your radish and all, the food is stored in the leucoplast. That is why it appears white in color. So, leucoplast for storage purpose. And chromoplast, CHROMOPLAST, chromoplast. Chromoplast is to impart bright colors to the flowers in order to attract insects for pollination. So all the 3 plastids are present in plant cell, but they are absent in animal cell. They are absent in animal cell. Next structure present in plant cell is your vacuoles. They are absent in animal cell, and if they are present, they are very small in number, very small in size and very few in number. But in plants, vacuoles are quite large and numerous in number. Then coming to centrosome. In plant cell, centrosomes are absent. In plant cell, centrosomes are absent, whereas in animal cell, centrosomes are present. Next, lysosomes. In plant cell, lysosomes are absent, and if they are present in very small number, very few in number, because there is no need of lysosome in plant cell. Plant cell already has an additional protective membrane called cell wall, which is made up of cellulose to protect from all the attacks of pathogens, microbes, and even from the mechanical injuries. So lysosomes are absent. If present, very few in number, whereas in animal cell, cells, lysosomes are present. They are numerous in number because they have to engulf so many dead organelles as well as a microbe. So lysosomes are present. And the last difference is, in plant cell, food is stored as starch, whereas in animal cell, food is stored as glycogen. So these are the major differences between plant cell and animal cell. most of the structures are common to both. We have mitochondria, we have endoplasmic reticulum, we have nucleus, ribosomes present in both the cell. Centrosome and lysosomes are present in animal cell, and cell wall, vacuole and plastids. Cell wall, vacuoles and plastids, they are present in plant cell. So you can see this is your overall structure of plant and animal cell. Try to draw the diagram and learn the figures. The functions are very important. So learn the functions thoroughly, because now you have to appear for both. So learn the functions thoroughly. Functions and location. Now locations are also very important. Where is centrosome present? They are located near the nucleus. So all the locations also should be clear. Keep practicing. Thank you.